Hey, 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 everybody. Sharon Brubaker. We got to turn the mirror off here. I'm going live. Hey, I have the most amazing producer, you guys. It's my daughter, Brittany. And she is got this new setup going. So we just had to test it today. So it took us a little longer. And I hope you guys see all the amazing artwork that she did. So I'm definitely proud of her. That is for sure. Okay, my name is Sharon Brubaker, and I am a grief specialist. I've been sitting at the feet of grieving people, grieving women, grieving men for over 18 years. I really want to change the way we look at grief and the way that we approach our grief. Today, day two of the four-part series that I promised you guys I was going to do. Yesterday, we talked about when people tell you don't cry. So these are lies that people tell us about grief. The lies that people tell us about grief, the things they tell us not to do that are just not helpful. They're just not helpful. And today we're doing replace the loss. Replace the loss. Replace the loss is something that we tell ourselves, but it's also something that other people tell us. So replace the loss. So here's hey Tina, how are you doing? Glad you're here. Have you ever been told, don't worry, I'll get a new one? We're told that a lot. We tell it to our children a lot. Their computer gets stolen at school because they left it dragging, and we're like, don't worry, mom will get you a new one. And the truth is that all of us need to experience that loss and we need to process the loss. We need to process the loss of whatever it is that we lost. This happens from a very young age. Our bike gets stolen, our computer breaks, our cell phone breaks. And mom and dad jump right in and they replace the loss. One, they replace the loss because we don't want to hear them whining, nagging, all of that stuff. Two, because we know they need the thing, right? But that is the perfect time for us to teach our child or our children how to experience the pain. I'm going to start out with a story that I have permission to share. When my daughter Brittany was 10 years old, Lauren was 12. They both had a set of chihuahuas and they named them Thelma and Louise. And one night when Tony and I were home alone, Brittany was gone. Her dog Louise was killed tragically. And I just remember Tony and I crying so much. The thought of us having to tell her that her dog had died, she loved this dog, you guys. This little thing, she took it everywhere. She absolutely loved the dog. And if you've ever been around me, if you've been around me at any amount of time, you know that I tell you I made so many mistakes in my grief. This is one of the huge mistakes that I made in my grief where Brittany was concerned. Brittany lost the dog. The dog died. The next day, Tony and I sat down and we told her that the dog had died. And Brittany, bless her heart, in her 10-year-old little self, she did what she thought was right. She absolutely did the thing. So she got a cigar box, right? And in there, she put all the little trinkets from her dog. She put the picture of the dog. She wrote the dog a letter. She put her choker chain, and she was carrying around this box. And she was absolutely grieving. She was grieving Louise. But my brain, and I'm embarrassed to say this because I teach this all the time, was it's just a dog. It's just a dog. It's okay, Brittany. Dogs die. Pets die. We lived on a farm. We had goats, chickens. They die. That's what happens. But her heart was broken. And she was carrying around this box. Mind you, I'm 5'3", and by this time, Brittany is, I don't know, probably 5'4" at this point. She towers over me. Anyway, she would get up in the middle of the night and she was coming into my room crying for about 6 months. She was coming into my room at night crying. And it was always at night. And my husband would say, well, come on, get in the bed with us. Well, it was like three adults trying to sleep in the same bed. And one day I said to him at the end of the 6 month mark, I just looked at him one day and I said, this is about that dog. She's crying for the dog. And so what did I do? I said, don't worry, mama's going to fix it. And I went out and I got her a new dog. I replaced the loss. I didn't have her sit in her heart of her emotions. I went out and I got her a new dog. I did that because I thought that was the right thing to do. I didn't know that this grief is an emotional experience we feel in our heart. Here she is carrying around this box, and instead of going here, I did the thing that we're not supposed to do. Brittany was actually on the right track. She was on the right track with the box, the writing of the letter. Had I known anything, I should have done a service for her. We should have done a celebration. We should have all sat down and honored the dog and honored Brittany's grief. We should have honored her grief. But that's not what I did. Instead, I went out and got a new dog. Replace the loss is something that happens with our children at a very young age. They learn it then. Instead of living in the pain of their grief, and I'm not pointing fingers at you, I'm sharing my story and letting you know. Replace the loss comes in other ways. It comes up in, man, there are plenty of fish in the sea. You're going to get a new girlfriend. Go find you someone else. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Replace the loss. My spouse dies. Oh, I need to go and start dating now. I get a lot of women that are coming to me saying, I don't know if it's right time to date. Hear me out, grievers. Only you can make that decision. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about this feeling that you're going to replace the brokenness in your heart because that's not going to happen. That is absolutely not going to happen. The brokenness in your heart is not going to get replaced. It's going to get deeper. The replace the loss implies that the pain of the loss is offset by simply acquiring something new. I get a new dog, I get a new computer, I get a new bike, and that the pain is going to go away when I get the something new. Whether it's a material possession or even a relationship, the idea that the new thing is going to replace the pain is false. You cannot replace the pain. I can't replace Donovan. I can't replace Austin. I cannot replace Sharon. And I'm going to tell you guys, I tried. I absolutely tried. But the truth is, I can't replace her. There is no new best friend for me. Grief is a deeply personal, complex process that you have to go through. We don't go out and get something new. We go through the pain of our brokenness in our heart. Each loss is unique and it will impact each and every one of us differently. So here's the other thing that happens with replace the loss. I want to talk about this one as well. It happens a lot when you know someone who's been divorced multiple times. They get married, then they get divorced, and then they get married, then they get divorced. Or even your friend, who's your adult friend, girlfriend. You have to ask yourself in your heart and soul, are we allowing the healing to take place in between? And my guess is probably not. So we replace our things, we replace our pets, we replace our pets. How many of you are grieving your fur baby right now? And people are telling you to go get a new fur baby. Go get a new fur baby. It's just a dog. It was just a bird, right? Understand that grief must fully be experienced from beginning till end. You have to complete what is broken in your heart. You have to complete the pain of brokenness in your heart. You can't just go on to the next thing. This means acknowledging the depth of the pain. It means acknowledging your relationship to your fur baby, your relationship to your divorce, your relationship to your girlfriend, and the relationship to the computer. You know you use the computer every single day and it changed your life having this laptop. Losing that laptop is a grieving experience. I'm not putting down that losing your person is a grieving experience. I'm not comparing them. We have to acknowledge the depth of the loss and allow ourselves to feel the pain that we associate with the emotions of the loss. You got to go in here and find out what the pain is. What are the emotions that are showing up for you right now? What's happening with this loss? And we need to take a look at them. We need to take a look at them and release them. The process of going after and completing what is broken to you is going to free you up in that area of brokenness. It's going to free you up. Replacing the loss just keeps us stuck. Because here's the deal, my friend. And here's the deal, and here's what's really important. If my dog dies and I replace the loss and I don't deal with it, and then my cat dies and I replace it and I don't think about it, and my computer gets stolen and I just replace it and I don't think about it, eventually you have what looks like this growing around in your heart. You have this thing that is just so heavy, and every time loss occurs, it attaches to the new thing. This we know to be true. We absolutely know it to be true. It can help us to understand that these are lies that people are telling us about grief. I want to use it as tough as I can. It's lies that people are telling us. They are telling us to go and look for a replacement for our loss. And for some of us, that's not even possible. I can't replace my dad. It's not possible for me. Well, you know what I can replace him with? Instead of grieving, I can go out and join a dance class. Instead of grieving, I can start drinking. Instead of grieving, I can start watching TV shows. Instead of grieving, I can start watching Real Housewives. Instead of grieving, there's a lot of things that we can replace the person with, that we can fill in our everyday life. I can get more involved in church. I can start reading books. I can veg out on TV. I can sleep. I can eat more food. There's a lot of things that we can do to replace the loss that isn't actually bringing the person in. So we need to be careful and be aware of that. Okay, everyone, go to my link in my profile and click the link that says click here for hope. There you're going to find some amazing resources. You'll be able to register for Study Hall, which is a place for us, brought to you by the Grief School, a place for us to share our grief. Study Hall is done every Tuesday from 1 to 3 Central Standard Time. You'll be able to sign up for the workshop, the Women's Workshop, Grieve Out Loud Women's Workshop, which is coming up this Thursday. I'm giving you little tidbits every day because I want to break it down. This is what grief is, and this is how you can go after it. Okay, I'm also live on TikTok, and I got a couple of responses, so I just want to go over them just real quick. I lost my identical twin sister on January 1st, 2000. Mary, my heart to yours, Mary. I'm so glad you're here. What is her name? Share her name so we can honor her. I still have some of my dad's ashes. Has been gone almost 4 years. What's wrong with me? Nothing, Sarah. There's nothing wrong with you. I still have some of my dad's ashes. I still have some of my dad's ashes. I personally don't have them. I have a necklace with some of his ashes in it, but my sister has the remaining ashes. There's nothing wrong with you. You had a dad that you loved. You had a dad that you cared about, and he cared about you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. My guess is that you got something like this going on, which is making you question the keeping the ashes. Mary, what was your twin sister's name? Say her name so we can honor her. So I got some good morning, everybody. I got some friends here on TikTok, and we're going to answer some questions for them real quick. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who has joined here. My name is Sharon Brubaker. I'm the owner of the Grief School, the place where healing begins, the place where you come to learn about grief, the place where you come to ask those questions. Why am I still holding on to these ashes? And also, I'd love to take a deeper dive with you on that, for sure. Okay, friends, have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow. There's 4 um, grief lies that we're going over. Don't cry. People tell us not to cry, replace the loss. And tomorrow we're going to do Be Strong. I'll see you all then. Thank you so much.